So today we're going to do the Creator Series Clipbook, but with a bit of a twist today. There's not as many clips. We're going to concentrate on the more, I guess, talking point based ones. But then we're going to get into some realistic car analysis because there's been so much moaning, particularly post Monaco, about, oh, my car, oh no, poor me, oh, I'm in XYZ car, oh no, my car was the worst, no, my car was the worst, oh no, I was bad, but I was in a bad car. Just shut up, guys. So we're going to drive the cars, okay? We're going to drive the cars and we're going to find out if any of them are genuinely slower than the other, because I don't reckon they are, but we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Maybe the lowest, like 3 or 4 cars, we'll see if there was actually a difference around Monaco. We're going to do some hot laps. Anyway, let's get into the clips. So the turmoil carnage then, you may recall at the beginning of Creator Series, there was quite a lot of carnage in turn 1. Pretty much the entire field was caught up in the incident. So let's see what caused it. So this is the front row. We've got Scotty Designs versus Chesnoy Gaming. So Scotty gets a beautiful start. Much better start than Ches. But then Ches sends it down the inside, goes a little bit deep, and just carnage ensues. Really, just absolute. Every single driver was involved in this because the track was completely blocked. It was unbelievable. Now, this is actually quite an interesting one because obviously Scotty's looking good, right? And then Ches does outbrake himself. I think that's fair to say. But Scotty also makes no real attempt to allow him not any room. Like, he allowed him a little bit of room. But you can see that he's going to go deep. And from here, if you just turn in like he does, you're sort of forcing both cars out to the outside. Don't get me wrong, that shouldn't be the case. But we know the F1 game physics. We know that if you do that on someone's outside, you just drag on them and you pull both of them out wide. That doesn't mean it's Scotty's fault. But it was quite predictable from this moment on. And then here, again, he's just still turning, and then ended up sideways. So Ches left room in the end, despite all of that dragging. Ches ended up just about leaving room, and then in the end ended up getting pinched in. So I honestly think this is just a 50-50 racing incident. Let's have a look at Ches's POV sending in. Ches actually blames Scotty completely, which is somewhat surprising because it was an aggressive send. You see what I mean? Like, it looks aggressive, but he does get it stopped. Like, here, look, he's turning completely fine, and there's going to be room. Because Scotty's dragging on it just makes his car straighten just that much. And unfortunately, right at a critical moment here, if you look, Ches on a controller, straightens the wheel a bit too much and ends up in the wall. If you turn out and go in the wall, well, not true, is it, Scotty? You got all that room. Now, if you turn out, you're going in the wall. But that's a lot later than when you could have turned out. The contact was initially started about there. And at this point, you have got a bit of room. So just it's not easy to do, don't get me wrong. And if you thought you were going to go in the wall, then back out rather than making an entire grid collision. Because, like I said, Ches outbraked himself, fair enough. But at this point, Ches can do no more. It's up to Scotty now to do something about it. And Scotty chooses just to keep turning on him. As we know, with the janky physics in this game, it ends up in a massive collision. So it's 60-40 on Ches, in my opinion. But just for racing incident, they both could have done more to avoid it. So this is an interesting one. Tukey is on the inside, right? He's on the inside. He's obviously not going to back out. He's ahead. It's an easy flat-out corner, even an F2 car. He sticks to the inside, and then boom, they end up in the wall. How do you apportion blame when it's because you've bottomed out that's happened? Let's go on board with Matty. So again, like, Matty's left plenty of room. And then I guess he comes across a little bit too much, doesn't he? He comes to the right a little bit too much. But at the same time, Tukey bottoms out and goes wide, and they both end up in the wall. I just think you cannot apportion blame, even if you're being hypercritical. You cannot say, oh, you know, like I did with Ches, like, oh, racing incident, but maybe this person could have done more to avoid it, etc. I guess it's just Monaco, isn't it? It's just a Monaco thing. When you go side by side with Monaco, it's quite likely to end in disaster. That's basically it. Right, Fabio and Adam chicane. What is this? There we go. So Adam following the two in front, who are fighting. Any contact there, but the track just kind of curves. Adam round the outside and gets put into the wall. By the letter of the law, right? Fabio should be given room here, right? Adam's pretty much halfway alongside. Creator Series rule, it's not really a rule, but you just leave room. However, we all know that this wall here is lurking. I say that, I think I would have done exactly what Adam did here because he's alongside enough and he's got a slightly better exit to get the room. I just think you're driving into a closing gap. It's sort of the same thing with this bit of contact here. The track kind of kinks right as you hit the brakes. So Scott effectively stays in the same part of the track. He actually does go slightly to the right, to be fair, and hits Fabio. But that's just because the track bends right at that moment. It's sort of similar to that. Like, I don't think you can be surprised when you run out of room here. I just think, again, that was an entirely predictable situation. Technically, Fabio should have given more room. You can't blame Adam. It's Fabio's fault, but I think it was so predictable on Adam's part that he probably just shouldn't have gone for this, honestly. Career in 5th place, Fabio didn't have was. Oh, I remember what happens now. Wait. I remember what happens now. So I don't know. I think Fabio hits the inside wall there, and game physics decides that I know what his car should do. That. And then somehow Crib ends up underneath him and stuck. He can't move. Look, he's trying to drive and he can't move. To add insult to injury, 5th place penalty for collision with Fabio. I mean, what can you do about that? What can you do about that? And then we have Matt 2-on-2 as well, out because of it. Trying to find anything to blame but himself, look. I kind of feel for him here because the track is kind of blocked and the front wing's a bit janky.
What on earth is going on? What?
And then sort of drives into them.
What is going on there?
And Alex a bit shocked. Just misjudged it. Pushed himself. Who's this that flies through as well? It's Adam Sanderson just flying through the gap.
What on earth is going on? What?
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So this is a sweet race start. At Monaco, while being sensible, you can't really have a better start than this. So reasonable launch gets Ches and Hayden off the line. And it kind of hangs in the middle a little bit. Just wait, patient, don't make any contact. Now floor it on the exit and get Matty on the exit. Honestly, without going for a stupid dive bomb, that's about as good a start as you can get at Monaco. It was really well judged, just judging everything to perfection, not making any contact with anybody, and getting it done. So fair play to Krim. That was a good start. Only 3 positions, but it's Monaco. Good luck getting more than that without being an absolute kamikaze. Adam upside down. This one's pretty good. Who? Actually, we'll look at Adam's POV first. He wasn't very happy in this race.
Oh my god.
Gets hit from behind, but he did kind of break it on Apex. Not his fault, obviously, the car's in front. But and ends up upside down. I mean, Monaco seems to create these janky physics.
What?
You know the joke of, like, having a crash of a parked car? Sort of, kind of what Hayden here does.
Oh, Adam's upside down. Oh my god. Right, I've just been taken out by Adam.
He crashes into, like, a completely uncontrolled, very obvious, like, what do you think was going to happen here? The car's just going to suddenly, don't worry, I'll turn away from you, Hayden, or I'm just going to suddenly stop for you.
Oh my god.
Adam not holding his brakes? Yeah, I know, right? Adam just holding his brakes. Okay, Matt 2-on-2 clip. Alert. On the outside. Yeah, nice. No, always driving into a gap. Coming into this corner, look, not even side by side. To then send it on the brakes, I'm not so sure about this one. Just pushes him out the way. Punt to pass. And then kind of puts him in the wall. Now Hayden just goes, okay, have we got a POV of Hayden? I want to see this. Hayden, yeah, I think Hayden must just accelerate into him now, surely, because...
Got Matt 2-on-2 having a look. I'm just trying not to... Okay, bro. Okay, bro.
A brain overtake for sure.
There's me trying to be clean. Okay, yeah. Bro. Okay.
Actually, someone mentioned in the chat just then that, Hayden could have turned out. Okay. But he does. Look, he does. He's turning in. Look, he turns out. He avoids the contact. There's contact there because his rear end slides. Hayden couldn't have seen that coming. He's still turning out. Hayden's trying to give him as much room as he possibly can. The first contact that's Hayden's fault was here. And at this point, he literally can't back out. He probably should have tried to break at least, but split second stuff. And I was right. He does accelerate into him just to exaggerate it.
Good.
That's definitely a bit naughty. But Matt was more naughty for sure. So definitely a bit naughty by that there. Definitely a punt to pass. Oh, I think this is the bottom out thing that I was mentioning before. Yes, this is the same thing I mentioned before in the F2 clip. So it doesn't affect Matt too badly, but it affects Ches pretty badly. He bottoms out, so does that make it Ches's fault? Because here, all's fair, but then look, you kind of just briefly saw the car bottom out there, which look, the car's just going straight now. Look, he's turning and it's just going straight. So he ends up spinning. Obviously, Ches came off worse, so like whatever. But if this put Matt in the wall, is that Ches's fault? Because his car bottoms out? I honestly don't know. I've got no idea. If you bottom out, it has to still be your fault, right? I don't think the track should factor in. Otherwise, you could put yourself on a curb and go skating and take someone out and say, it wasn't my fault, I was on a curb. Well, no, you knew that curb was going to bottom you out. And if you didn't, well, you should have known. And that's it. Part of driving is knowing the track. Exactly that. Exactly that. So I think it has to be Ches's fault. He's straight into not hit the wall. Let's have a look. Yeah, maybe you're right a little bit. There is some bottoming out there as well, to be fair. But yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe just turned in a little bit early. So maybe it's just a misjudgment from Ches more than anything. Because yeah, you're right. He does straighten the wheel a little bit. Or does the wheel straighten for? Remember, he's on controller. So does the wheel straighten for him when it bottoms out? I don't know how whether that would happen or not. But yeah, anyway, it's on Ches regardless. But you know, Ches came off worse, so no harm done. Ben versus Adam. Adam in the wall. Sign me up for a bit of this. So now these two are not very happy in the race, and this is Ben going for it on Adam on the lesser grip line. Adam being very fair to him. And Ben puts him in the wall.
I think Adam was going in the wall regardless. I think Adam was going in the wall regardless. I think Adam was going in the wall regardless. I think Adam was going in the wall regardless.
Four times he said that. I mean, really what I want to discuss is, should Ben have taken this position or should he have given this back? I don't think the fact he was in the wall anyway really factors into that because he clearly was going to put him in the wall. So if Adam wasn't in the wall regardless, Ben would have just put him in the wall. They pretty much hit each other at the same time. The wall and Ben pretty much hit each other at the same time. I think Adam probably would have tapped the wall, but did Ben going into him affect his momentum more and maybe give him more damage? It could well have done. And what I will say is, once Ben's hit the brakes, he does everything he can to avoid the contact. He's braking, turning. Goes all the way down to first gear even. He does really try. He only gets on the throttle after the collision. He does really try and avoid it, but obviously he just outbrake himself on the wetter line. Touched him after contact. Well, you may have to hit the wall. Yeah, maybe just. But I just don't know. I just can't. Again, it's another kind of existential thing. I don't know if it's relevant. I don't know. It's not that deep, but it's just, again, another interesting one. I honestly don't know the answer. Normally, I've got the answer for everything, in my opinion, but not that one. The game gave Ben a clean lap this lap, so did he do anything wrong? Good point. Yeah, Ben completely in the right. Okay, so this is Karim trying to get through on Scotty. Can't actually remember what happened in this one. I have watched it, but I've forgotten. Oh, I do remember now.
Sorry, Scotty. I didn't mean for that to happen, but at least we let Fabio through.
Like, fair play to apologising. I don't know. Should he be letting him back through? I mean, that's really quite deep. I mean, look at that. To be honest, I don't know how Scotty doesn't go in this wall. Oh my God.
Nice,
I mean,
nice guys.
That is pretty outrageous, to be fair. That, from Scotty's POV, that's a lot worse. That's pretty outrageous. He did apologise, which is something, but is an apology enough? He just cost Scotty. Scotty was P7 going into this, and he ends up P10 at the end of it. I think it's nice to give positions back, but like, Karim would have to let Ben through as well. I understand him not wanting to do that. Again, I don't have the answers. I don't know. Scotty himself says he doesn't think he needs to give it back. Yeah, fair enough. 5 seconds it's about 2 and 2. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely about 2 and 2's fault, that one. Now, this is an interesting one. Now, this is proper elbows out racing between Matt 2 on 2 and Scott Taylor.
Oh, there you go. Scott Taylor now with a penalty.
Check this out. A bit of wall there, pushes him a bit wide.
Bro!
Bit of a squeeze.
What are you putting me in the wall for?
And then an outrageous send. Actually, not as bad as Karim's, quite incredibly, but he was nowhere near. And but did he hit that? Hit that?
With it.
This man knows game. And then an outrageous send back from Scott. And they're just basically making contact at all times. But do you know what I like about this? Is that, yes, there's a lot of contact, and F1 is meant to not be a contact sport. But let's be honest, the F1 game, you can make quite a lot of contact, and it doesn't really matter. But for the most part, I love this. I wouldn't like to see this. I wouldn't aim to race like this, and I wouldn't like to be raced like this in return. I prefer it to be cleaner than this, but should we count the amount of contacts? But I don't think anyone really does anything wrong. Maybe a bit of contact there. Won't count that. There was contact there, so Scott does go too far left here. This is a squeeze, but also, what is Matt going to go on the outside here? Absolutely not. So, like, this is just a Monaco thing, right? The way the track bends, the wall's been so close, the track been so tight. This is just a Monaco thing. I don't think it's anyone's fault.
Bro, what are you put me in the wall for?
But then this is a pretty bad send from 2 tenths back, apparently. This is not great. Always going to end in contact. But again, no one's in the wall. They both survive. And here, Scott gives it right back. So deep in the hairpin. More contact. But to be fair, though, look. Matt could have easily lost his head amongst all that and just dived in and put him in the wall. Right? I think that's what a lot of drivers would have done. They'd have lost their head and Scott would have ended up in that wall on the left. Ultimately, when it really came down to it, when it really mattered, room was always given. it's overall fair racing. I never thought I'd see this much contact and call it fair racing, but there it is. So Matt gets a mission there. Yeah, let's go watch Scott's POV, shall we?
Matt, he just keeps pretending to send at every single corner.
Bro is lethal.
Yeah, I'm being fair, but I'm not giving up after that now. That's so annoying.
Right.
It's so frustrating. What is he actually doing?
I know.
What I will say is, on that one, obviously it's aggressive send from Matt, but I mean, Scott makes no attempt to give him any room. I mean, look, there's a red arrow there. Whether you think they should have gone for it or not, it doesn't really excuse him. He probably should have left a bit of room there,
What is he
but
actually doing?
no harm done.
I know, right?
Nah, no
And then
chance.
big send back like a
Bro, he's just trying
DP
to kill
goes,
you all the
as
time,
if they
isn't
don't end up in the wall there.
Fastest lap, boys.
That we're all AI and that we'll just predict where he's
Yeah,
going to the car.
there's no way.
It's honestly horrible. I don't like being 7-7.
Look at that.
There's a lot of moaning about Matt in the VC there, so I'm not sure if there was lots of previous incidents with Matt or what, but not very happy. Honestly, I think overall it ends up being fair. No one gets squeezed out into the wall somehow, despite all that contact. It was. I'm not going to call it nice, but it was kind of clean, despite being the most contact you'd ever make in an overtaking maneuver. Very strange. Very strange. Let's go with Ben. This is where you start to really see the frustration from Ben and Adam in particular, right? So we got Hayden here with some wing damage, as you can see on the left. Hayden's got a 3, Adam's got a 6. Ben's trying to come through. Ben's frustrated because he disconnected. I'm not too sure why Adam's frustrated.
Damage. What are you doing, Adam? Why did you let him catch that? For f***'s sake. What's this clown show? Idiots.
I mean, have you ever seen more angry driving? Generally. Now, what I will say is Hayden wasn't angry. Hayden was just being Hayden and messing about. But let's go aboard with Hayden, just so we can hear the VC, because the VC shows much more of the frustration. So let's analyse that. So first of all, you've got Adam for some reason with battery off. Either that or completely out of battery, but more likely just left it switched off. That allows Hayden from half a second back to send it, which is what Ben. It's interesting that Ben called out Adam, not Hayden, in this, because it was Adam not using the battery, and allowed Hayden to get side by side. Now Hayden obviously bit of an illegal overtake, it's fair to say. Brakes too late, cuts the track, gets only a warning somehow for that. I thought it might be an instant penalty, and then keeps the position. All right, so naughty from Hayden, but he's messing about, he's having fun, like whatever. But listen to the voice chat after this.
Well, let's go.
Hayden, come on
Let's
now.
go. Only a corner cutting. I said it on Adam. I didn't cut the corner, but it only gave me a corner cutting warning. Not an illegal overtake.
What?
That's ridiculous. Are you serious? You keep that?
Come on, come get it. Come on. No battery.
So effectively goads him, says, come on then, come get it back. And then Adam goes for a pretty big send here into turn 1. And basically just puts him in the wall. It's not great driving. This is actually classic Creator Series, right? You've got a driver here, Hayden, who you can see him still smiling despite having just been put in the wall. Having fun, going for weird sends, taking a cheeky overtake, which is a bit naughty, but like he's having fun, he's making his own content. You've then got Adam, who's not in a very good mood, presumably because of his race going badly, and Ben the same because he's disconnected a lot. It's a creator-focused thing. Everyone's got their idea of what Creator Series should be. Some people like me like to take it a bit more seriously, like me. Other people, like Hayden, tend to take it a lot less seriously, and sometimes they meet in the middle. So a lot of frustration bubbling over there, and not the best driving from either Hayden or Adam, I think it's fair to say. So, and honestly, I think the problem with this is this good content? Aside from me being able to analyse it, I suppose, is that good content? Is Hayden about to make a clip from that? Cheeky overtake and then getting put into the wall, maybe. Adam's clearly not enjoyed it and ended up then just going for a dirty send, to be honest, on Hayden. And Jason makes a good point. That's exactly it. Hayden's having fun making his idea of good content, and it's the opposite for Adam. Oh, okay, I didn't know that stuff. So Hayden had been winding Adam up, had he? Okay, that's interesting. Now, this is interesting. I could have shown you lots of clips of Lolly's defence. In fact, Vince, after the race, called him the Italian Minister of Defence, because Lolly, with damage, don't forget, from that VSC, somehow defended from Vince, and Vince just decides to go for it. Maybe a bit of frustration bubbling up. And Ricky says, thank you very much. That gives him a podium. Now, let's go on board with Vince. Vince, as it is, has got 74 laps in a row of clean laps. He was on a par with me for completely clean racing. He may have got a point for cleanest driver. So in going for this move, and it's obviously not all about points, but in going for this big move, he ends up cutting the corner, losing the chance to get cleanest driver, and losing a position on track.
That's why, man.
honestly, I think it should be less about points and more about going for it. So I don't begrudge it, but like I said, I could have shown you many, many more clips of him going for it on Lolly and stuff, because they had lots and lots of racing. But it'd just be basically a Vince versus Lolly highlights then video. It wouldn't quite be the same, but yeah. Anyway, and that's it. Definitely less clips this week. I've kind of purposely been a lot more strict and really kept it to the ones that are proper talking points rather than the kind of interesting clips or doing overtake of the week or everything. But that's because we're about to go drive a car. We're about to see the realistic performance. We're going to start from what is supposedly the worst car and work our way up. We're only going to do about 4 cars or so. So we're going to test the Sauber, the V-Carb, the Haas, and probably the Williams to see at Monaco which car is supposedly the worst. Because I tell you what, there's been so much chatter in Creator Series, hundreds of messages again, people moaning, saying, oh yeah, but my car, oh, but mine's worse. No, mine's the worst. Well, let's find out, shall we? Let's find out. Whoa. Yep, the Sauber has definitely got more rotation than the V-Carb.
Okay, I'm afraid we've been pushed down to P16.
Yeah, that corner there is way quicker than the Sauber, no doubt. Oh my god, I can make so much later because the front just goes in. Oh my god, but then also oversteering at times. Okay, 10.6. I didn't really want to do this on Monaco because it's so dependent on nailing a good lap. Oh, that was too much, so you see. There's a limit. How much rotation you want? Ah, it's too deep. There's a lap. 10.1. There's a bit more in it for sure, but we're never going to be able to nail a lap in Monaco. 10.1, I did a 9.9 for pole in the V-Carb, so... As we know, the V-Carb is about 5 kilos lighter, so that will, in theory, should be a bit quicker. It's also got a little bit more downforce than the Sauber, but it rotates less. I did say after the race, I reckon in the wet, the V-Carb probably is better, but I would say the Sauber is a little bit slower than the V-Carb at Monaco. Oh, that's a bit deep, yeah. See the understeer, see what I mean? Like, in those sort of corners, you don't want the... You want a bit of rotation. Oh, yeah, what's in the wall? I'm used to this car a bit more.
That's us down into P16
that's not the first lap of the day, so straight to a 10.3 with this. Keep there though. Poor last couple of turns. That's a better lap than my pole lap. Well, I think that's absolutely identical to the 1,000th to my pole lap in the end. But yeah, Ben. So I'm pretty sure it's a rotation. It's the amount of rotation in the car, and if you've got a lot of rotation, the curbs don't affect it too much because the car's almost drifting through the corner, so the bouncing doesn't do much. If you've got understeer like the V-Carb's got, it affects it a lot more. See, that car just rotated nicely over the curb there, but if it didn't have that rotation on, I'd have understeered into the wall. No. Oh my god. A proper lap that. We're at 6.41. Obviously half a second up on the Sauber, but realistically, that's not a fair gap. The Sauber wasn't a good lap. Was it interesting to hear what Razin does in the Sauber?
Did a 9.6.
I also did a 9.6. Oh, I was a 6.41. What was yours?
6.95.
Hey, winner.
Yeah, you can definitely push the car on this one. It's a bit unstable, but like you said, you can probably stable up the sub a bit.
I think the higher speed corners, it's better. So like the one after the like tunnel chicane, corner straight, the left-hander after that, it's nice through there, whereas the V-Carb's quite understeery through there. But then other corners like the top of the hill, where it kind of undulates, it's quite unstable in the Sauber, whereas it's still a little bit unstable in the V-Carb because it's not high downforce, but it's all right there. All right, so now I haven't driven the Haas yet. The Haas is supposedly not a good car. Yeah, I do think actually in that hairpin, the more rotation's better. I think that's why I was struggling with it so much in the race. Oh, it turns through there, so sweet. I prefer the oversteer of the Sauber and the Haas personally, straight to a 10.1. In the wet at Monaco, I said it after the race, and I stand by that. I think the V-Carb is slightly better. It's most of the time. A 10th pound though, to a 9.9999999999999999999. Pretty sure that's what that rounded to.
So I've done a 9.5 in a V-Carb. Just gonna do one more lap.
So that's what, a 10th quicker than your Sauber lap.
Yeah, 10.5 pretty much.
This brake's so late, it just sent it, prayed. There goes the turn in. Get it in the end. It's not the best through there, but better than I have done it. That was deep. Yeah, that was always deep. Gonna roll with it. Not bad. Not quite as good a lap as I did in the V-carb. That's pretty good. 197.
Okay, good
Yeah.
job, mate. Really
I think it's very driving style dependent. I think for my driving style, on quali laps at Monaco, of the 3 we tried so far, personally give me the Haas. However, if you're the sort of person that likes a bit of understeer, you don't like a car that rotates a lot, the V-carb, you'll prefer the V-carb. I think there's nothing in it between those 3 cars, realistically.
First lap and a Haas 0.4. So,
Oh my word, cooking.
I think this feels the best. I think the V-carb is, without a doubt, the most stablest. Like, in a race, I'd rather have that to push.
Yeah.
But the Haas probably has the most pace out of 3.
Well, what I thought about doing is potentially putting the cars in groups. So you say you're in bottom group, so you can choose between, I'm about to try the Williams, but presumably Sauber, Haas and V-carb, and whoever's got the like least points, or whichever way around it works, says you get first choice sort of thing. Right, Williams then. In fact, let me look at the stats for Williams. So the Williams is about halfway between the weight of the V-carb and Haas and Sauber, but it's got more downforce than any of the cars we've driven so far. Not by much, but it is more downforce. It should rotate better than the V-carb, but not as much as the other 2 cars we've driven so far. So this should be a pretty good car. That's what I'm trying to say. This should be the quickest so far. Yeah, this is nice. The Haas was really unstable on the brakes for whatever reason. Oh, I might as well reset that. That'll do. No, it won't. Am I okay? Just get through the corner, bro. Just drive the car. Am I okay? Yeah, this car's clear. It's really nice middle ground. Like, it's got good rotation without being over-rotating. 10-0, that's my best first lap yet, despite all the flashbacks. It's just really drivable. Like, really nice. Holy late brakes. How the hell did that not disallow? Not the best. Who turns up? Could have done that better. Overall though, very healthy lap that. Very healthy indeed. Half a second up. 193, my best lap of the day. Williams is good. Williams is very good. Williams is not in the same class as those previous 3. Right, come on, let's see what the Alpine's like then. Oh, understeer McGee. Oh my god. This is going to be worse than Williams, no doubt. Ah, turn! Jesus! Well, if you like a stable car, get in the Alpine. I was in slow speed though. Yeah, not bad. I forgot that it was an Alpine when I turned in. Oh, and again. Turn! Jesus! It's not going to be literally worse than the Sal, but it almost feels there. That's how bad this is.
P13.
10-4. 10-4. Fighting to get back over to the left. I'm to re-wrestle it.
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
Bad. Bad again. Well, it's in the 4.9s at least. Oh my god, I might even prefer the Sauber and the Haas over this.
So I'm done with the Williams. Williams is definitely much more stable, similar to the V-carb. It's in the race, I feel like you can push that car quite easily.
Yeah, Williams, I thought the balance was amazing, the best yet.
You got a benchmark for the Alpine?
Not quite yet. I've just done a 9.9. It's bad, man. Are you getting the Alpine now?
Yeah, I'm just gonna skip straight to the end of the session.
Actually got a bit of rotation out of it over the curb, but only as good as last time. I've got no confidence that the front is going to go in at any point. I like it. That's nice. That's nice as well. Bit deep, it's okay. It's more like it. That's a fair representation of the Alpine. But 109.5. I'd still say it's a little bit better than the lowest group of cars, but it's the next worse.
Not bad though. It's not amazing. It's stable. Just...
Did you not think it was hella understeering? I thought it was awful.
Yeah, it is. It is quite understeering. It's similar to the V car, I guess, in that good sense.
Yeah. Well, I thought it's more so actually, but it's got a bit more downforce, so it's still better than the V carb, but not by much. All right, go on, Aston. What are you cooking? I can make so much later than that. Jesus. Just pop it in the wall. Why not? Oh my sweet baby downforce. It's just downforce. I've actually got downforce for the first time today. Not the best lap for sure. What? Are they on a hot lap? Got dirty air because they're on a hot lap and going terribly slow. 9-9.
Okay, just 2
With
laps
a pretty
of
poor
fuel
lap.
remaining now.
Oh my god. Only 10th up, something more up than that. Oh, best. It's way deep. There's more time in it for sure. Without a rubbered in track, still a 9.7. I should be doing better than 9.3 in this if I don't bottle. Tell them the overtaking third gear there. Nasty. That's also a little bit deep. Nice though. Not bad. Don't know how that wasn't disallowed. Take it. Might hit the inside wall a little bit. Well, didn't do it justice. Still got 3.27, which is my fastest lap of the day, but didn't do it justice.
9-0 in Aston. That's by far
Yeah,
best.
that's more like it. I did a 9.3, but I bottled my lap a bit.
Much better balance in that car.
I know.
So much more fit.
I was saying, like, finally I've actually got some downforce.
Yeah.
Trying the Mercedes now, though. This should be a bit better again. Mercedes got the most downforce of any car. Oh, a little wide. Don't feel the understeer, but again, it's personal preference, really. Oh, that's a bit deep. Trust has downforce a bit too much there. Oh, okay, the lag started mid corner, but that was nice. 9 still? Yeah, 9.6, first lap of the day is a joke. This should be possibly even the best car at Monaco, just gets the most downforce, but the McLaren's probably going to be better. Head's not on throttle, but we'll like it. Not the best. Here is that. Yeah, definitely could do better than that, but it's fine. 109.1 should be the 8s really. Obviously the best car so far, no doubt. So clearly better than the Aston Martin. Decent step up. The Aston Martin's sort of in a class of its own a little bit, annoyingly. Williams and Alpine, I guess, but the Williams is clearly better in that group. And Aston Martin step above because no, mind you, maybe it's not. Maybe those three go in the next group. Because Aston Martin, Monaco is better, but Monza is worse than those two other cars. But supposedly the next car is the Ferrari. This should be worse than the Mercedes at Monaco.
Did an 8-9 in the Merc.
Nice, yeah, I did a 9-1, but could have done more. It's Ferrari now.
You're going to see a big difference in these ones coming up.
Well, I don't know. I think so far there's just 3 groups. There's the bottom 3. Then there's the Aston Williams and Alpine, depending on, that'll be very track dependent. And then you got the top 4. Again, it's somewhat track dependent, but there's a pretty set order, I think, of those.
I'm intrigued to see what these top 4 teams are like, the differences, because they could play a different tracks. You expect not too much. But
The Mercedes might be the best car at Monaco, to be fair.
you reckon?
It's got the most downforce of any car. But it's a bit too understeery, though, so I think the car's a bit more rotation, probably quicker. Yeah, see, that just enough rotation to deal with that curb. The Mercedes would have ended up in the wall there. Oh. It's fine. Ugh. Nice lap, very nice lap. That's my best lap of the day. Best lap of a decent car. Into the 8s. 8, 9. I don't think that's better than the Mercedes, but it just turns a bit nicer. But again, you're talking about setup tweaks now. I'd put it in the same class as the Mercedes, no doubt. I reckon, though, the Mercedes is slightly better than that. On a low drag circuit, you want the Ferrari. On a high drag circuit, you'd want the, high downforce circuit, you'd want the Mercedes. As simple as that, really. Whoa, hello rotation. So the Red Bull has got lots of rotation, almost Sauber levels of rotation, but obviously a lot more downforce than the Sauber. So this might be the fastest car, even though it's not got quite as much downforce as the Mercedes. It just turns. They're braking super late there, and it just stops and turns when it gets there. No worries about this. It'll be a lot quicker through here as well. It's a bit too hard that time though. Oh my sweet baby rotation. See, oversteer on the exit. I haven't had that in a while. This is actually a bit too much though. For Monaco at least. In Monaco, you kind of want quite a lot of confidence in the car, don't you? This is probably the fastest car at Monaco. McLaren might be able to fight it. Straight to a 9.3. That's a joke.
I went a little bit slow on a Ferrari in a Merc, just by the tiniest bit. I think it was a 10.0 I did.
Okay, yeah. I think that's roughly where it should be. I went quick with the Ferrari, but I just cooked on the lap, I think. Oh, that's too much, but that was ridiculous. Like, so late, they just drifted through the corner. Oh, that's horrendous. Oh, that's absolutely horrific. Not a good lap so far. Oh, hit the inside curve, I think. Oh, come on, Alex. You suck. But that is the thing, though. Like, lots of rotation is harder to drive. It's faster, but it's harder to drive. So the fact I'm not in the 8s there, back to a 9.1, is because it is harder to get a lap in.
I literally was oversteering so much through the middle sector, right, and coming into the final. But I absolutely nailed it and did an 8.777.
An 8.7?
McLaren's left.
Yeah, one more. It's the beast.
It'd be funny if it's not the fastest. I actually don't think it'll be the fastest.
It might not be at Monaco, just because of rotation. Like, that rotation was nuts. Yeah, hello. Oh, baby, the car just goes exactly where you want it to. That was slow, though. Yeah. Very similar to the Williams. It's beautiful. It just goes exactly where you want it to go. This and the Williams, the balance is amazing. I think it's got the best tyre wear as well. Definitely be in the 9s. It won't be in the 8s, though. Good 9. Yeah, 9.3. That's... Yeah, McLaren's best. So McLaren's a class of its own. You then got Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes, all pretty similar depending on track, depending on your preference. If you want a lot of rotation, pick the Red Bull. If you want a bit more understeer, pick one of the other two. If it's a low drag circuit, pick the Ferrari. If it's a high downforce circuit, pick the Mercedes. Then you've got the next class, which is Aston, Alpine, Williams. Williams is just a nice car. Alpine, I'd say, is worse than Williams, honestly. It's just if you like a lot of understeer, maybe the Alpine. And then the Aston Martin, maybe someone like Monaco would be good. Everywhere else it's bad, it's too high drag. But it has got more downforce than most. Then you got the bottom 3. V-Carb wants some stability, and then Haas, and then Sauber. Let's do it. Just try to get the throttle a bit earlier. Should be the best lap of the day, comfortably. Nah. Damn you. That was hooked up at that point. Up to that point. Yeah. Can't go back far enough to... Nah, this is going to get badly if I restart that. Not the best. Oh my god. Hello, Walt. Yeah, best car. The best car. Might not quite be the best lap time of the day, to be fair. It wasn't a great lap, but the best car. 108.9. Not quite the best lap of the day. The Ferrari was that. But I did do that was my personal best driven lap of the day. One of the other ones might have been a bit slower, but...
With qualifying complete, all that remains now is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow.
I don't think there's ever a situation where I wouldn't choose the McLaren, though.
Right, I'll let you enjoy the end of the stream. But that was interesting doing some testing there.
Yeah.
Alright.
That's ugly, but ugly. Alright, yeah, see you later, mate. Cheers. I think that's mostly a fair order. There'll be tweaks here and there for other tracks. Really, the only one is Williams Aston Martin. Other than that, I'd swap these two, and I'd swap these two, personally, for every other track. Barring Monza or Baku, I'd put Ferrari above Mercedes. But yeah, other than that, I think that's fair. Right, anyway, I'll get head off, guys. I will send a screenshot to Create a Series. We'll see if they do anything about it. You know, we came up with the grouping idea. I quite like grouping them. People choose, you know, they get assigned a group and they choose from the group. It just stops this. Oh, I had this car. Oh, I hated this car, because everyone's moaning. They're always going to moan a bit. Like, you know, like Jake's leading the championship, right? So he's going to be one of the worst cars. He's always going to moan about being on a Sauber. Like, I don't moan about it. I like it. I think if I just put it in pole in a V carb and won the race in a V carb, like, and it made it close. Lolly and Vince and Ricky would not have been up there if they weren't in better cars. Simple as that. They had to have a slight car advantage to be properly in contention, and even then, I still seem to have the pace over them. So it's made Create a Series better. It's made Create a Series better, but hopefully this will put an end to some of the debate. I mean, there's people are going to debate forever, but yeah, chicken poppers, absolutely. We're going to get some chicken poppers. Anyway, right, I'm going to head off, guys. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed. Sorry, it's a bit waffly today, but hopefully it was interesting nonetheless. Right, guys, enjoy GB. You speak in Italian, and I will catch you tomorrow. What we're doing tomorrow? Caterham Crane, was it tomorrow? No, it wasn't. It was F125 versus F124 versus F123 handling. So kind of similar to today, I suppose, but against the game instead of against the cars. Look forward to that, guys. Try and go a bit earlier for that, so see you tomorrow afternoon. Enjoy GB's Italian. Catch you then. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.